Hello, and welcome to Every Day is Funny, the meditative morning show about newspaper comics. And I have an idea for another week-long segment, and I'm kind of surprised it took me this long to get to this, but I was sitting on the couch this morning with my cat Houdini, trying to figure out what to watch. It's a chill Sunday morning. And then I thought, why don't I watch the 2004 Garfield movie and talk about it on the show, give a meditative movie review. Never done a meditative movie review. But then I thought, I don't want to watch the entire Garfield movie because that sounds kind of boring. So why don't I just watch 10 minutes at a time? And then I'll give a little movie review as the week goes on, 10 minutes at a time. So today, I watched the first 10 minutes, and I stopped right at 10 minutes, of the 2004 Garfield movie, starring Bill Murray as Garfield. And I wrote down some notes, a synopsis, my thoughts. And so tomorrow I'll watch the next 20 minutes. If you'd like to join me, stop listening right now. It's on Disney Plus. Go put on Garfield the movie. And then come back and listen to this review. But I'm only reviewing the first 10 minutes. Looking at how this movie is only an hour 20, I believe that means this will take 8 eps to fully review. But this is a good way of doing it, I think, 10 minutes at a time, because it really helps me get down to the nitty gritty. I don't have to leave any bits out, any of those juicy bits, because, this is from the first 10 minutes alone, this is a dense picture. If you blink, you miss a lot of confusing exposition, a lot of world building. So, you really got to stay sharp. You got to write notes, and because you don't, things are going to come back around. You have to be listening to every line of dialogue, because the writers plant things that pay off. So you really got to be paying attention. So this is the first eighth of the movie. I call this chapter just the world building. So here's my synopsis and review. All right, we open on an exterior shot of a house as a Baha Men-style jam plays in the background. Will this be the home of our titular feline? Or will it be unrelated to the movie, showing a random family and giving the audience a classic 180? No, we see this is the home of Garfield, as that 180 idea would be dumb as hell. And we pan through a series of photographs of him and John from their first meeting to the present day. And at this point, it's not clear if we should be worried about John for having so many pictures of him and his cat framed. The movie seems to want us to believe this is not a problem, but I'm not so sure. We then get to the bedroom, where John sleeps in one bed and Garfield sleeps in a smaller bed next to it. Suddenly, an alarm clock next to Garfield's bed rings, and we see our first appearance of our hero. And I almost stood up and cheered. I was so effing ecstatic, you know what I'm talking about? But this is also my first major gripe with the movie, because if there is one character trait of Garfield, he hates Mondays and loves lasagna, but in the grander scheme of things, Garfield is lazy. I would think if I'm sitting down to write the Garfield movie, that's a bullet point that I should make sure I'm following. And so his alarm clock rings, and he turns it off and wakes up immediately. And that felt so antithetical to the character. This was our first shot of Garfield, and already it betrays the very idea. Why wouldn't he hit snooze? Why did he set an alarm the night before to begin with? He wakes up and says, I hate Mondays. So why are you waking up on Monday? You sleep most of the day, just keep sleeping. Wait till John wakes you up with food. I don't know why you're setting alarms, why you're sticking to them. Immediately, I hated that about this movie. If I'm being completely honest, I don't understand it. Then we see a little montage about how Garfield is a menace in this fictional world. He cannonballs off the dresser onto John to wake him up. He flushes the toilet while John's in the shower to make it scalding hot for him. I don't understand why this man wants framed photos of him and this cat that regularly gives him hell. I'm starting to worry more about John at this point. Then Garfield hangs out with his friend Nermal, and they watch as the milkman comes down the block, which is a pretty antiquated plot point for 2004. They don't make a joke about how a milkman is not really a thing anymore. It's just there's a milkman. And we're gonna pretend for some reason like this is 1950. Then he forces his friend into some like Rube Goldberg machine that makes the milk fall into Garfield's mouth, and also ensuring that whoever's home that was will never get to enjoy their milk, and the milkman will probably be fired for delivering what seemed to be an empty bottle. Then Garfield sees pie on a windowsill. This is still the morning. This is a very early time to make pie and have it be done already. And he sidesteps a mean dog named Luca to get to the pie. He also briefly hangs out with a mouse that he has to pretend to eat so that John thinks he's pulling his weight around the house. And then finally, at the end of the 10 minutes, we see Garfield watching the local news as an anchor does a segment about a cat named Persnickety. But then we cut to the inside of the TV studio as the director yells cut, and we see that this seemingly happy-go-lucky news anchor actually hates cats and is very mean. And it was in this moment I realized we were witnessing the start of a villain arc. And we closed the 10 minutes by seeing this local newsman watching his brother on TV reporting like real news, and clearly this brother's doing a lot better than this guy, and we now know what will drive our villain to do his nefarious deeds. And that closes the first eighth of the 2004 Garfield movie. Now, I'm not sure where I stand at this point in the movie. I'm interested to see how Garfield will start interacting with this news anchor, because we know that's how it's going to shape up. But I don't have good faith that we are going to stick to who Garfield is, his essence as a character, because to me that's already been betrayed by his first appearance being turning off an alarm clock and getting up on time. So right now I'm gonna do like a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, but it'll be a fluctuating rating. We call it a fluctuating. So right now I'm gonna sit at a 3. But that can change if Garfield sticks to be more like how he's supposed to. And if the movie takes wild turns, if it gets funnier. Right now, this was some world building that shows he's a little menace, a little nefarious, which is fun, but it didn't feel like the true character to me yet. So that's a 3. Thank you. And let's get to the comics. Oh my God, that was an 8-minute Garfield review. All right, who knows how much time we have? Maybe we just hit up the big guns, Mary Worth and Rex Morgan. Because this is Sunday, the comics are longer. Yeah, let's do it. Mary Worth. Okay. We're back at the Star Lounge as Wilbur and his daughter Dawn were doing some karaoke. And Dawn was saying that her dad is a hero to her, which was very sweet. We see a thought bubble to start off. And we see the thought bubble is coming from Mary Worth, who is at karaoke. We weren't sure yesterday if she actually showed up. I thought it made it kind of clear that she didn't, but I guess she is there, watching Wilbur and Dawn sing. Her thought bubble says, "For people who say they're rejected and abandoned, I'd say Wilbur and Dawn sing pretty well together." Headline: When Wilbur, Dawn, and Mary go to karaoke. Then we see Wilbur and Dawn. We get the reveal of what they sing as their duet. They are singing David Bowie's Heroes. They sing We Can Be Heroes Just for One Day. Mary watches on, still thinking, Dawn may not have a great relationship with her mother, and Wilbur may not have the best dating record with women. But this father and daughter duo have each other, and what beautiful music they make together. And then a final panel of Wilbur and Dawn singing the lyrics, "Oh, we can beat them forever and ever, then we could be heroes just for one day." Okay, so obviously they chose this song because of the conversation yesterday about how Dawn says her father's a hero to her. I guess we missed the part of the conversation where Dawn says, like, "Oh, you said hero. Let's sing David Bowie's Heroes." And then they do this. My biggest problem with today's strip is the opening thought bubble by Mary Worth that says, "For people who say they're rejected and abandoned, I'd say they sing pretty well together." Like, what does being rejected and abandoned have to do with your ability to duet? That's not like a cause and effect that makes any sense at all. So I don't love that. I like that Mary got them on stage together. I hope Mary sings something herself. I don't think she will. Maybe they can pull her on stage for a trio. What's a good trio song? It'd be funny if they did some Beastie Boys, the three of them, and Mary Worth like busts out in some like classic LL Cool J type garb. That'd be very fun. It's not gonna happen. And the fact that we're seeing Mary's thought bubble saying they make beautiful music together, I kind of did not think Wilbur and Dawn would be good singers. But it's not like she's saying that to them afterwards in like a speech bubble where you know she might be lying. This seems pretty genuine considering it's just a thought bubble. I've never once thought about what any of these comic strip characters sound like. And now I'm genuinely curious what Wilbur sounds like. And I'm a little like frustrated that I'll never get to know. Because like, yeah, you know, there is something like, I mean, speaking of the Garfield movie I just watched, there's interpretations, but it's really like, I don't think Garfield sounds like Bill Murray. It's just like, who's the biggest star they could get to put on the poster? Bill Murray. So it's like, yeah, that's what Garfield sounds like. It's like, no, it's not. It's just you wanted Bill Murray in the movie because of star power. Garfield's actual voice probably sounds like some D-list actor that you'd never hire for the role. So I don't know. I do wonder what Wilbur sounds like. I wonder if this happiness will last. Is this kind of it? You know, them singing Heroes together does kind of feel like it's the end of the plot line. It feels like this could be the moment. Like Dawn comes to live with Wilbur. They live happily ever after. Singing Bowie's Heroes does sound kind of like credit music for this plotline. But who knows? Maybe Wilbur's other goldfish will die and everything will spiral into oblivion again. But good on Mary. I hope she sings with them. Rex Morgan time. Ooh, we got a long one today. Yesterday, the only thing that happened, I believe, is Parker asking Aunt Judy if when she came to pick him up the following morning from the hospital, Corey could join to help him leave. That was all that was said yesterday. Today, they're still by Parker's bedside. Corey says, "I'll see you in the morning, Shorty." Parker says, "Thanks, Beanpole." Corey's dad says, "Shorty? Beanpole?" Corey says, "Private joke, long story." But then, headline, we have changed settings to the other part of the hospital with Rex Morgan operating. He's in his garb. It's classic. It's awesome. Headline, after emergency surgery on Randy the Bully. Wow. Yeah, so things got intense with the beating. Not gonna laugh about that. I'm just gonna move on. Rex is talking to another doctor. The other doctor says, "Great work in there, Dr. Morgan." Rex says, "Thanks. That boy was in bad shape." She says, "How does anyone do that to a child?" Rex says, "It's hard to process. I can't imagine ever hurting my kids. But unfortunately, this sort of thing is all too common." She says, "At least we were able to repair the physical damage." He says, "That's the easy part. Healing the emotional damage will be far more complicated." She says, "I hope he'll get the help he needs for that." And Rex says, "A lot of broken people out there. If we all do our part, it'll make a difference." Wow, I think the funniest part of this is the doctor going, at least we were able to repair the physical damage. It's like, yeah, you're in an operating room, and the only reason you're saying that is so that Rex can then respond, commenting on like the mental, emotional damage. No doctor ever walks out of an operating room and says, wow, we really repaired the physical damage, huh? It's just so that Rex can go, yeah, but what about the emotional damage? It sounds like it was really bad, though. I knew punches were thrown, but what else happened in there? And then Rex closing with a lot of broken people out there. If we all do our part, it'll make a difference. Like, dude, you were just in surgery. Now you're like spewing wisdom. Do you ever get tired of being the Mary Worth-like character for this strip? Like, hey, you don't always have to be the sage. Like, you don't walk out of surgery after a man beat his kid and be like, God fucking damn it, I am stressed. Like, you never just like, even with another doctor, you feel the need to be like, the mental stress is what will really take its toll over time. Like, come on, Morgan. I love you. You're a great dude. You're a great man, a great father, but you don't have to be everything to everyone all the time. Are they really gonna put the bully in the room with Parker? Is that really the way this is going? Like, they didn't chat? Like, Rex Morgan knows. I think he knows. I think he can piece together what's happening here. Maybe he can't. Or maybe it's not his decision where people are put in terms of hospital placement, but it seems like we're gonna get to that point where they're gonna be in the same room. I knew it was gonna take another 3 days. Maybe it'll happen tomorrow, but probably Tuesday. I don't know. But God damn it, at least they were able to repair the physical damage. Let me think of what to comment. Okay, I'm actually not going to comment on the Rex Morgan part. I'm going to go back to Corey and Parker, where Corey says about the Shorty and Beanpole bit, private joke, long story. I'm going to have Corey's dad respond, no, we don't keep inside jokes in our household. You tell me about Shorty and Beanpole or I'm not driving you home. I'm serious. Send. Man, we're just gonna see. I'm just getting prepared for like another week of Parker talking to the bully and them coming to like an agreement about life. I'm excited for it and dreading it at the same time. I hope you feel the same. Time to wind down for this Sunday, July 21st. Hope you have a great end to your weekend. And remember, every day is funny.